Hey, greetings, everybody. It's Lieutenant Colonel Alan West, the old school patriot, and just want to say thank you for once again taking time out of your busy schedules and out of your lives to join me for a little Facebook Live. And hopefully, everything is going well for you in this new year. My new year started. My new year started up in Washington, D.C. And it was kind of interesting. We had the National Rifle Association winter board meeting and everything went well. But I have to tell you, as my post from earlier this week, Monday, talked about, we got to be aware of the left's strategy to try to disarm the American people. And as we go forward into this year, my 5th year here in Dallas, Texas, I guess I should let you all know a little bit about this. You see that I'm wearing it. Let me show you. I'm wearing the little t-shirt here that is indicative of the Dallas Cowboys star. Well, I made a little bet earlier in the NFL season. Dallas Cowboys played the Atlanta Falcons, and as you know, I'm from Atlanta. I made the bet with my next door neighbor, Miss Tierney Briggs. Of course, her husband, Billy, a former 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment helicopter pilot, told me you might not want to make this bet with his wife that we call Miss T. Well, I went and made the bet, and as you can see, I'm wearing a Dallas Cowboys jersey now. And I told her, Miss T, how you doing, next door neighbor? I told her that I'd do it, and I'm a man of my word. And so as they continue on to the NFL playoffs, I'll be wearing my Dallas Cowboys shirt that Miss T gave me. And hopefully the Cowboys will do well and make a good deep run and maybe even make it to the Super Bowl. But as I was saying, there's so many things that are going on that, sometimes you seem a little bit overwhelmed, but I don't want you to seem overwhelmed. Yesterday I was down in Waco, Texas, once again, doing a book signing for my second book that came out October 16th, Hold Texas, Hold the Nation, Victory or Death. And tomorrow I'll be in Fairhope, Alabama, just south of Mobile, along the Gulf of Mexico, and I will be at a place called Page and Palette, and I'll be doing a book signing there in Fairhope, Alabama for Hold Texas, Hold the Nation, have a little talk about it and take some questions. But let's get to where we are and what we need to talk about tonight. One thing I forgot. Hey, Miss T, it was real interesting because I looked at the label for this really nice shirt that was made by a nostalgia company, Mitchell and Ness. A Dallas Cowboy shirt made by a company from Philadelphia. What's up with that? But anyhow, let's talk about one of the real situations that are facing us right now. I'm sure many of you watched last night the president's address. It was his first Oval Office address to the American people. And then when you watched the response from Senator Chuck Schumer, the Senate Minority Leader, and the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi from California. And I wrote a piece earlier this week that talked about a very simple decision, a very simple question that I think was answered last night. Are the Democrats for Americans or are they for illegals? Because when I think about some of the words that were used last night, when I think about how Senator Schumer talked about the president was unknowable as he sat there in the White House, I think about how everyone is going back and forth talking about this thing that is going on the border is a manufactured crisis. I shared with you all some slides from the Department of Homeland Security this week, and those slides really did detail what's happening, and those slides are still available at our website, The Old School Patriot. But let me tell you about what is happening down there on our border. And maybe, Senator Schumer and Speaker of the House Pelosi should go back and look at those 8 slides. And you can pull those slides down right now. But from fiscal year 17 to fiscal year 18, the seizure of methamphetamines went up 38% at our border. Heroin went up 22%. Fentanyl went up 73%. In fiscal year 18, 282,000 pounds of cocaine, 248,000 pounds of methamphetamine, 6,500 pounds of heroin, and 2.4 thousand pounds of fentanyl were apprehended in fiscal year 2018. See, in fiscal year 2018, 17,000 adults with criminal records were arrested at our border. 3,755 known or suspected terrorists, Islamic jihadists, were apprehended or prevented entry into the United States of America. 6,000 gang members, to include MS-13, were apprehended at our southern border. 60,000 unaccompanied minors, that's an increase of 25% from fiscal year 18. 161,000 family units, a 50% increase in fiscal year 18. 31% sexual assaults of women who are trying to come into this country illegally. 17% of sexual assaults against men. 50 people per day having to be provided medical attention. 4.3 thousand were rescued in distress, trying to come in that incredible journey. Yes, I know that Miss Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the congresswoman, was talking about how after Christmas, a young person lost their lives. I think it was an 8-year-old boy. But think about this. What about all the Americans that are losing their lives because of this scourge called criminal illegal immigration? It wasn't too long ago that Officer Ronil Singh, a legal immigrant from Fiji, a police officer, was gunned down by a criminal illegal immigrant in Newman, California. A criminal illegal immigrant who had 2 prior arrests for DUI, but yet was still in the United States of America. Now, we can go back and also talk about Kate Steinle in San Francisco. We can talk about Molly Tibbetts. We can talk about Jamil Shaw, another young Black man that was killed by criminal illegal immigrants, gang members. Who do the Democrats side with? This is not a manufactured crisis when you talk about the people that have lost their loved ones, to the illicit drugs that are coming across, or to the criminal illegal immigrants that are taking their lives. When you talk to the women who are suffering from sexual assaults and rapes from criminal illegal immigrants. You know, this past week, and I shared this with you, that Mayor Bill de Blasio of New York and also Governor Gavin Newsom of California came out and said that they're going to provide health care, free health care for everybody, be it in New York City or in the state of California, illegal or not. So here we have law-abiding American citizens are going to have to foot the bill for folks that are here illegally. It's a very simple question that I think that we have to ask our dear friends who call themselves the progressive socialists, that would prefer to have open borders, that, you know, once again, continue to rail about why an organization, a law enforcement organization like the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, that agency exists. And think about it, today was Law Enforcement Day, but yet you have elected representatives of the United States of America that want to abolish a law enforcement agency that is here to keep us safe and protected from those who have been able to breach our sovereign borders into the United States of America. It's a very simple thing that we need to talk about. Are the Democrats for Americans, or are they for illegals? When you look at their policies, I think it tells you exactly who they're for. And there is no argument about it. Look, I'm fine. I mean, you go back in 2006, 2009, all these people talking about border security and people being, you know, coming into the country illegally and voting for barriers and supporting barriers, but now all of a sudden they don't want to do it because they're not concerned about Americans when it comes to defeating the person that's sitting in the Oval Office. And yes, I think that many of us, you know, feel compassion, and we're sorry about the 800,000 some odd government employees that are not working, that have been furloughed. But again, once they come right back, they're going to get the back pay. And how interesting it was that today a simple question was posed to Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi. If we open up the government, will we be able to build this wall, this barrier, secure our borders? And the response was no. So in other words, bring these people back and then we'll talk about, this thing called a border security wall, an obstacle, a barrier. No, the safety and security of the American people should be first and foremost. That's what you took an oath to support and defend, the Constitution. The Constitution talks about people that are here illegally. Who do the Democrats really care about? Americans or illegals? Now, people ask me, how do I think this ends up? I think that the longer this goes on, it's more of a losing proposition for the left. They cannot continue to talk about how this is a manufactured crisis, no matter how many times they say it on, ABC, CBS, NBC, MSNBC, CNN, PBS, or what have you. They all have their talking points lined up. If you notice, everyone's manufactured crisis, manufactured crisis. You have to admire the fact that they're much like the Borg from the old Star Trek Next Generation. They don't have the capability to provide individual thought. They're part of a collective. They have all assimilated into one thing. They don't believe in the sovereignty of the United States of America. They don't believe in our being a constitutional republic. That's what old school patriots stand up and fight for, this nation. But what we see the left in America fighting for is not what we will pass on to subsequent generations. It's just how they maintain control and power. Look at how California is really collapsing under the weight of illegal immigration. Ask yourself, did Gavin Newsom even go down to the funeral for Officer Singh in Newman, California? I don't think he did. But he did not waste any time standing up in his inaugural address talking about how he will provide sanctuary to illegal immigrants. What a slap in the face to the families of Kate Steinle, Jamil Shaw, Officer Singh, who leaves behind a 5-month-old child and his wife. That's not who the left cares about. Now, what is the only thing that could derail this effort? If the Republicans once again become weak-kneed, if they don't stand together, if they don't lock their shields and realize that here's an opportunity for them to show that they do stand for the American people. Because if they cave, if they collapse, in 2 years, it'll be Armageddon for them at the polling places. And yet there are all these Republicans that tend to believe that, we've got to open government back up or else it will affect them in their elections. What will affect the everyday people here in the United States of America is if we continue to allow the drug cartels and all of these transnational criminal organizations that are making billions of dollars by ferrying people into our country illegally. If we allow them to continue to be able to kill Americans, because really, think about it, it is an invasion. And when people are here illegally and they're killing American citizens, that should be something that would enrage anyone that truly does believe in this nation. And the last point I want to make, and what I find the utter hypocrisy to all of this, is that here we have the Democrats, the progressive socialists of the left, that really and truthfully do want to disarm the American people. They want to undermine our Second Amendment right. At the same time, when they want to abolish a law enforcement agency that is charged to protect us against criminal illegal immigrants, but yet they want more sanctuary for criminal illegal immigrants in these United States of America. So when you are talking with your progressive socialist friends, and don't be afraid to talk to them, just simply in a nice low tone, but very direct, ask them, do you stand for Americans or do you stand for illegals? The answer is here before us every single day because their actions tell us who they prioritize. Now, with that being said, what's on your minds? Let's go over here. Stephanie Berger Lawson, the left only cares about votes and power. You're absolutely right, Stephanie. And when you think about it, there in California, I believe in the San Francisco area, illegals are allowed to vote in local school board municipal elections. They even tried to do the exact same thing up in Boston. Look at Chicago, where they're handing out these these identification cards to all residents. Well, guess what? If you have a picture ID, next thing you know, they're going to show up in Chicago, Cook County, and get the opportunity to vote. Amazing. Rahm Emanuel did not care a least bit about the slaughter of blacks in Southside Chicago, the gang violence, but he's doing everything he possibly can to enable criminal illegal immigration here in the United States of America. Vivian Griggs, build a wall. I'm behind President Trump 100%. I think that the left are going to be very surprised. They really do believe that they have a high ground in this, but they don't. What Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi are doing is that they are swimming in the blood of American citizens. Every American that has lost their life to a criminal illegal immigrant, they are disrespecting and disregarding by saying this is a manufactured crisis. See, this is what someone should organize and what should be done. Every day, starting tomorrow, the offices of Senator Schumer and Speaker of the House Pelosi should be flooded with the picture of someone that has been killed by a criminal illegal immigrant every day. Because obviously they don't think this is happening. Hence why they say it's a manufactured crisis. They think it is unnoble for a president to stand up for the safety and security of the citizens of the country that he was sworn to protect and defend. What is unnoble is what Senator Schumer and Nancy Pelosi are standing for. And that is that they're not standing for the American people. So think about it. If you can, every day, from here until the time that that wall is built along our southern border in the right spaces so that the Border Patrol can have more control over our southern border. We're not talking about a 1,700-mile contiguous, barrier, but we're talking about something that enables them to be able to control certain sectors. But until that happens, every single day, folks, send a picture, email it, or call their office and just say the name of an American that has been killed by a criminal illegal immigrant. And I'm going to say one name right now. It's Kate Steinle. Nancy Pelosi, Kate Steinle is from your area, the San Francisco Bay Area. And to this moment, I have not heard Nancy Pelosi say a word about Officer Ronil Singh, who has been laid to rest in the state that she represents. Think about that. Gavin Newsom did not say a word about Officer Singh, but he was quick to talk about how free health care will be going to people there illegally. Slight Hammond, Brother West, what will happen when President declassifies information? I don't know exactly what you mean. But let me talk about this. I don't think that the president should go out and declare a national emergency. Because if the president goes out and declares this to be a national emergency, then the story becomes about President Trump and the Constitution and whatever. I think that what we should do, again, is just every single day, flood the offices of Senator Schumer and Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi with a picture of someone that has been killed by a criminal illegal immigrant. If they truly believe that this is a manufactured crisis, then let them explain how that person is no longer here. We need to elevate the faces of those family members. That's what we need to do. We need to get them to understand that the American people want to be safe and they want to be secure, that the American people will stand up for themselves, that the Progressive Socialists of the Democrat Party will not. Glenn Bates Campbell, let U.S. citizens vote on the wall. Yeah, I think that'd be a great thing to send it to as a referendum of the people. But again, until that wall goes up every single day, folks, send a picture of someone that has been killed by a criminal illegal immigrant in the United States of America to the office of Senator Schumer or Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi. Or if you live in a district where there is your representative is a Democrat, kind of like where I live now, maybe you should send them a picture and remind them that you will not stand for this. Skip Wilbur, thank you for your service. I would like to meet you, shake your hand. Think you make a great American, but ride the wrong brand of motorcycle. Hey man, don't bang me because I have a Victory. It's a pretty nice motorcycle. Donna Rubinetti, Mr. West, I think the wall should be built and those who were killed should be memorialized on that wall. I think that would be a very good idea. Maybe not on that wall, but somewhere we need to memorialize those individuals who have been killed by criminal illegal immigrants here in the United States of America. Let's start from 1986 all the way to the present, because that was the last time when we had a choice. The government had a choice, the American people or illegal immigrants. And guess what Ronald Reagan did? And I think that if you go back and you read, you will find that that was one of his disappointing decisions. He went for the easy thing. He said, let's have this amnesty, because he was promised all these other things that the government would do that they never did. That's what President Trump said to Chuck and Nancy, Senator Schumer and Speaker of the House Pelosi. Then there's no need of us having a conversation. Because what you're telling me is open up the government and then we can talk about it. And when he asked them, does that mean that you're going to fund the wall? They said, no. Okay. Go have a nice day. And tomorrow we start sending pictures of people that have been killed by criminal illegal immigrants to Senator Schumer's office and Speaker Pelosi's office. We will let them know that this is not a manufactured crisis. Deborah Del Toro, Mr. West, they don't care. This is not about America. It is about them hating Trump. And let's expose them for that. If they are so, emotionally deranged and delusional that this is all about hating a person, then that shows that they truly do not care about America. That's what I'm saying. The simple question is Americans or illegals? Let's force them to answer that. And I think that they are answering that. They cannot run away from it. How can you say that you are for border security when you are openly talking about open borders? When you're talking about abolishing immigration and customs enforcement? When you're talking about creating more, maintaining yourself as a sanctuary state, California, or a sanctuary city, New York, Chicago, what have you? When you're talking about giving, healthcare, free healthcare benefits to people here illegally, that's why people continue to try to come to the United States of America illegally, because you have progressive socialist leftists that are promising them all of this largesse from our pockets, all of these benefits. Come through the front door, be a part of this great experiment, but respect us and respect our laws. I heard, I think it was Senator Schumer say that the symbol of the United States of America should be the Statue of Liberty, not a wall. The symbol of America is the Statue of Liberty. It stands at the front door, Senator Schumer. The folks aren't coming in the front door. And please don't talk to me about walls, because a lot of you guys have walls around your own house. Pam Hassler, Democrats only care about power. You're absolutely right. And they think that supporting criminal illegal immigrants is a way to do that. They think that the Hispanic community is going to fall in love with them and, come out and vote strongly for them. Well, there are many in the Hispanic community that prefer legal immigration. They respect our rule of law. There are many in the Hispanic community that don't want criminal gangs like MS-13 terrorizing them within their communities. We need to make that point. Let's see. Mark Cudd, I would love to see you, sir, organize the biggest march that DC has ever seen. Yeah, maybe one day, maybe that's God's calling. And we'll see if I could pull it off, if that's what he wills. Benjamin Shea Crawley, Mr. West, why are the Dems so opposed to the wall when before they weren't? That's called hypocrisy. The left is going to say whatever they believe is politically expedient at the moment. And right now, the far left controls the Democrat Party. And what's even more important is that the far left wants to see the destruction, the utter decimation of President Trump's presidency. I just read you these facts from those the Department of Homeland Security slides that we have posted at theoldschoolpatriot.com. You can go through our Facebook page and see the link to that story. Pass those slides around to your friends and ask your friends, is this a manufactured crisis? It's not, but that's their talking point. Darlene Meyer Rubin, you're using logic, it doesn't compute. I think logic does work with 60 to 65% of the American people. And we just need to be the conduits of that logic, because without a doubt, this is a decisive moment for the future of this constitutional republic. We don't have an America if we don't secure our borders. That's bottom line. So now's the time that we fight. And again, to all of those members in the House and the Senate, Republicans, hey guys, you got to put on your big boy pants and your big girl pants. Don't you wimp out on this. No wimps, no whiners, no wussies. Mitt Romney, you hear what I just said? Stop writing stupid op-ed pieces and get a little steel in your spine. Because if you guys collapse on this, this is about our country. And you might as well kiss the GOP goodbye, because no one will ever trust you or believe in you again. That's the honest to God truth. Deborah Bradford Williams, what can we the people do? Deborah, I just gave you a call to action. Every single day, email a picture of a person, and just a short description of a person that was killed by a criminal illegal immigrant to the office of Senator Schumer or Speaker of the House Pelosi. I mean, we pass around emails of, dancing babies and cats doing, backflips and dogs playing the piano or skateboarding or whatever. Email a picture to honor the loss of one of our Americans. Because if they think it's a manufactured crisis, then that means we got to hit them right in the face with the truth and the proof that this is not manufactured. Shulihane May Palma Leon. Yes, it's hard, but it's doable. All my family came here legally. Yeah. Now, do we need to fix our legal system, legal immigration system? Absolutely. And there's some things that we also need to do. The visa lottery program, the chain migration thing, we need to tighten this thing up. We need to facilitate and make it a lot easier so that those people that really do want to come through the front door, those people that are qualified can come in. But we got to shut this backdoor stuff. This is disrespectful to our nation. And it is dangerous to the citizens of this great nation. And I think it is time that the people study, understand the Constitution, understand it's a republic, then you are the ones that are in charge. Remember what I said? Send a picture of someone that has been killed by a criminal illegal immigrant to the offices of Senator Schumer and Speaker Pelosi. And the other thing I want to have happen are those of you that went through the process the right way, the legal way, that came through the front door, those of you that have assimilated in, still respecting regarding your heritage from the country of your birth and your origin, write op-eds. Tell people how great this country is and how you appreciate it, and tell them how you don't want to see people disrespect the country that you have come to love. That's an important and powerful thing. Don't be lumped up and lumped in with everybody else. Okay. Sheila Holland Galbert, you got that right. All right. Jason Wells, I just pray Trump stands firm in this. He doesn't have a choice. He has to stand firm. This is a defining moment for him as a president. If he backs down on this, I mean, we can talk about the trade deal with China and tariffs or whatever. But if he backs down on this, that means that the collapse of the United States of America is impending, because I don't know who else will stand up and fight for the sovereignty of this country. Let's see. Scott Young, until term limits for House and Senate, things will stay the same. Look, I'll tell you, I'll be coming down to Mississippi to talk about Article 5 Convention of States. That's one of those amendments that should go into the Constitution that only the states will be able to push forward. We need to have some term limits. I think 12 years of federal service. They give you 6 terms in the House. They give you 2 terms over in the Senate. That's plenty of enough time for you to have an impact and influence on the federal government as an elected official. And no, it is not, you serve 12 years here and then you get to go serve another 12 years. It's 12 years total. So if you do 4 years over in the House of Representatives, then you want to go be a senator, well, guess what? You only got 8 more years you can stay up there. Figure out that math. Brandon Montgomery. Hey, brother, keep speaking the truth. We love you out here. You're spot on as always. Thank you, Brandon. I try to study to show myself approved, and I try to share everything that's going through this old crazy little Georgia boy's head with all of y'all out there. Byron Clark, love your shirt. Hey, like I said, you lose a bet, you got to put on the Cowboys gear, and I'm proud to do it. And again, this came from Nostalgia Company, Mitchell and Ness, but they're from Philadelphia. Philadelphia company making Dallas Cowboy swag. Go figure. It's America, what have you. But it does fit pretty good. I kind of like it. I'll be wearing it this week when the Cowboys take on the LA Rams this Saturday. Let's see. Crawford Dawson, thank you, Adam West, for your service and for standing there telling the truth. And I'm with you 100%. Except for one thing, Crawford. Adam West was Batman. My name is Allen, A-L-L-E-N. I grew up as a kid always getting called Batman. I guess I can't get away from it. So please, next time, Alan West, not Adam West. Pretty cool guy. But I used to think my favorite Batman was Christian Bale until he went off his meds and said what he said at the Golden Globes. Linda Mounts, manufacturer crisis is one word, bovine excrement. I got it. And she didn't put bovine excrement. She put something else. Graham Cook, a straight answer to a straight question. Americans are illegals. You're right, Graham. That's what this comes down to. And when you look at the policies, when you look at the rhetoric, when you look at the actions of the left, sanctuary cities, sanctuary states, providing health care to people here illegally, wanting to abolish ICE, wanting open borders, manufactured crisis, tells you what they stand for. Take a couple more, and then I want to say goodnight to y'all because I'm sure you guys got to enjoy your dinner. Roy Cruz, love the shirt. Go Cowboys. Absolutely right. My Falcons are out. We'll see what they do next year, so I'll be rooting for the Cowboys going forward. Rob Sacente, if I spent 12 years on a job and did as little as some of these jokers, I'd be fired for sure. Ralph, if you spent 12 days on a job and did as little as some of the members of the House and Senate do, you would be fired. Okay, and remember, in the private sector, there's no such thing as non-essential workers or non-essential personnel. If you're not essential, you're not employed. Bottom line. So let's make our government effective and efficient. And stop using these 800,000 workers at the government as a quote unquote leverage. The Democrats are the ones that are really trying to hold these people hostage. But in doing so, and I'll say it again, Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi last night were swimming in the blood of Americans who have lost their lives to criminal illegal immigrants. That is truly unknowable. This is a clear and present danger. This is a crisis that we're facing. It's not manufactured when you talk to the loved ones who lost their loved one. Last question, John Loudon. It is truly astonishing how such hatred by the Democrats is blinding them to doing what is right for our nation. When you don't believe in what America truly is, you're not blinded. You have never opened your eyes to recognize the blessings of liberty that we have here. And just remember the same thing happened just south of us in a place called Venezuela, where everything was going fine, most prosperous country in South America, and then someone came along and turned the lights out on them. And now you have people that have been disarmed, they're being gunned down in the streets, and they're eating from garbage cans. As you go out and you see your friends that lean more to the left, just ask them that simple question: Americans or illegals? And then make sure every day, until the wall is up on our southern border, you send a picture of an American that was killed by a criminal illegal immigrant to Senator Chuck Schumer and Speaker Nancy Pelosi's offices to let them know this is not a manufactured crisis. God bless you all. God bless America. Go Cowboys. Thanks, T, for my t-shirt. Good night, y'all.